Nothing good at all, Commanders fans. Just an embarrassment. I'm embarrassed. I really am. I'm embarrassed. I'm just at a loss for words. I mean, it almost felt like the Monday Night Massacre again. Just seeing how badly we were being beaten, to be sacked 9 times. Like Carson was just sacked 9 times. Like I do think that he let some of the Eagles hype and the revenge game get in his head for sure. I think he definitely was rattled 100%. Our offensive line is awful. Scott Turner is awful, man. That shovel pass on 4th and goal or something like that, that was just so awful. It was painful to watch. Ron Rivera just too slow to pull out the challenge flag. That wasn't a catch by Devontae Smith, clearly. The refs worked this too. They should have reviewed it, but Ron Rivera's going to challenge it. You got to be ready, man. Like Ron Rivera, I'm telling you, this is what I said. 4th downs, decision making, and challenges. Ron Rivera is the worst at that. He is the worst. The game has passed him by. He needs to go. He needs to go. And they're probably going to stay for the whole season. Like Ron's not going to fire Jack. He's not going to fire Scott. They're all going to be here at the end of the season, but they all need to go. It's time, man. No more excuses. No excuses from last year talking about the virus and injuries. Ron ain't it, man. The game's passing by. He's too old school. Only wants to sign Panthers, Andrew Norwell and Trey Turner, who get beat. Charles Lano was getting beat as well. Some of that was on Carson, too, though. Holding the ball way too long. Just head spinning, seeing ghosts. It looked like the game where we had 8 sacks on him, where he's just holding on to the football way too long. Scott Turner, 7 8-foot drops. Mark Schlereth was saying it on the broadcast, too. Why do you keep dropping back Carson Wentz so much? Why are you not running the football? When Antonio Gibson was doing a good job in the beginning of the game. I'll give Gibby had some good runs in the beginning of the game. He had an 11-yard run. He had some of his best runs in the beginning of the game. But Scott Turner is so finesse and so soft that he just wanted to pass the ball every down coming out of the gate. The defense did a good job in the first half for the most part until the second quarter. But our defense can only hold up so much. We just don't. We have a bend, don't break. We don't have a bend, don't break defense. Our defense is just, I don't even know. They're just a sieve on everything. Kendall Fuller he's just not. He's not it, man. He's not it. William Jackson III, he was out today. He would have got cooked too. Ben St. Juste, I thought he played well for the most part. I thought he tried. He gave effort. He gave effort today. He made some good plays on the first half, but they just couldn't hold up. We just don't have that type of defense. We just don't. And I thought in the first quarter and into the middle of the second quarter, I thought they played hard. I thought this was the best defensive performance I've seen through the first 3 games in that first quarter. I thought they did a heck of a job. They got a stop on a 4th and 1. But yeah, they took over the stadium. The Eagles fans, they did, which I knew they were. 20 buses to D.C. or to Landover, Maryland. They took over the stadium, and they beat the mess out of us. They did, man. I'm going to look at my notes in a second, but yeah, 9 sacks, man. I got sacked 9 times. Just holding on to the football way too long. Rattled, seeing ghosts, room spinning, and Scott Turner not helping him out either. So Scott Turner can go. I can't wait for him to go. I can't wait for this whole staff to go, man. 3rd game of the season, I'm ready for these guys to go. Bringing in all Commanders guys, Panthers guys, letting Eric Flowers walk, Matt Ioannidis, Tim Settle, almost let J.D. McKissick walk. J.D. McKissick was nice enough to come back. He could have went to the Bills, who are going to make the playoffs, who are a darn good team if he really wanted to. So we got lucky with that. And then you got the report with Jimmy G and then Ron Rivera saying it's false. So, but the Eagles, they're a good team, man. Like I picked them to win the division. They are the dream team on paper, but they're playing like a legitimate team, man. They are. And Jalen Hurts didn't have to do much today. He really didn't have to. I mean, he had a couple good passes here and there, but he really didn't have to do much because we just self-destructed ourselves. And their defense, they just did whatever they felt like doing. This is the 2nd week in a row where our offensive line has been dominated in Carson Wentz. And then we finally want to throw the ball downfield when we're down 24-0 or 22-0. We've been outscored in the first half. Ron Rivera, he's the king of slow starts. He's just a day late and a dollar short in everything. He's just the king of slow starts. He's an old school guy. He's a leader of men. I'll give him that. But the game is passing by. We need a young offensive coordinator. We need a young offensive-minded coach to come in here. I think we do have legitimate weapons. Jahan Dodson, he disappointed me with that drop today. But Terry did his thing. That's the only bright spot. 6 catches for 102 yards. I thought he did his thing. They just got skunked, man. They got skunked. They really did. They got skunked in their own house, man. We got skunked in our own house, man. Seriously, just ridiculous, man. We got lucky when Joey Sly got hit. I think it was a roughing the kicker or something like that. I don't even think we scored after that or something like that. Like we couldn't even convert. It was ridiculous. Scott just doesn't believe in the run at all. We're just a terrible team, terrible organization all the way around. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We got nicknames. We got a nickname out coming out. I think it's the Hog or something like that. They announced the nicknames, and there's a dog or something like that. I couldn't care less. New name, same BS. New name, same terrible team. It's a new name, same terrible organization, same owner. Nothing's changing. Nothing's changed at all. And then William Jackson, they had to bring in Rashad Wildgoose. When there's other corners you could have signed, Joe Hayden, Chris Harris. Fans, subscribers say this all the time. There's so many other people we could sign. And Ron Rivera signs. No disrespect to these guys. Tyree Castro Fields and Rashad Wildgoose. And the Eagles went out there and targeted him multiple times with Quez Watkins or whoever wide receiver was lined up to him. And they got him for 2 pass interferences very easily. And I would have did the same thing. If I would have seen some of Rashad Wildgoose has barely played any NFL football, of course I'm going right at him. And that's on Ron. We have zero depth. Zero depth on the offensive line. Zero depth on the D-line. Zero depth at the corner spot. The only place where we really might have some depth is at wide receiver. And that's it. And we don't even really use all our guys. We haven't used Cam Sims yet. We haven't used all the other guys other than the big 3. We have zero depth. Near zero depth, really, at corner. No depth as a linebacker. Imagine if an injury knock on wood happens at linebacker. Like, caught with their pants down. Who they going to sign? Another Panther? Another former Panther? Probably A.J. Klein. Ron's predictable moves. All his moves are very predictable. All old school, predictable Panthers moves. Every single time. Every single time. Wentz got sacked twice in a row in the first half. There was a time where there was one point where we had like -1 yards passing, like in the third quarter or something like that. It was ridiculous. It's really bad. The Wentz fumble down 10-0 or 3-0, and then he fumbled in our own territory. They picked it up and ran it, or got in their territory, and then Jalen Hurts threw a touchdown, I think, or something like that. Devontae Smith mossed, A.J. Brown mossed Kendall Fuller, and Devontae Smith mossed Kendall Fuller on one play as well, I think. Cole Holcomb and Shaka Tony, they had a big 4 down stop. That was like the best play of the game on all sides. Deron Payne with the safety too. That was like our only good play, to be honest. And Terry McLaurin with the catch down the sideline as well. Antonio Gibson ran backwards in the red zone one time. And that's the problems that we talk about with him. He just dances too much. But they're not really giving him a lot of running lanes either, to be honest. One of my notes says Scott Turner, dumb A, reverse shuffle pass to Logan Thomas. Deron Payne safety. Then Carson Wentz missed Terry McLaurin high on a 3rd and 22. So, and then he got sacked on the 4th and 22. We need a mobile quarterback. With this offensive line, you need a mobile quarterback. And Carson Wentz, he's just not mobile like he was in 2017. He's a lumbering, country-fed guy that looks like he can barely move at times. When he finally did run and scramble, he picked up some yards. That's what he's going to have to do with this offensive line. Scott dropping him back so much, he's going to have to evade the rush. He might have to take off a couple times. You see what Sam Howell did in the preseason. I know it's preseason. The way he was running around and making something happen, he might have to do that. Taylor Heineke last year, the way he runs around, makes something happen, probably has to do that with this offensive line. He's just going to have to do it because he's going to be under duress a lot. And he's going to have to be able to evade the rush and make something happen with his legs. He's just going to have to if we're going to have a chance in any of these bowl games. But, I'm just ready to move on. I'm ready to move on. We need somebody fresh. We need a young, innovative mind. Look at Nick Sirianni. He's doing a good job. Sean McVay, he's doing a good job. Kevin O'Connell's 2-1, who should have been the offensive coordinator anyway. He's 2-1 with the Vikings. The game has changed. It's just a young, innovative, offensive-minded coach. All the guys who left the Washington franchise, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, now Kevin O'Connell, Kyle Shanahan, all young offensive-minded coaches who are doing well in the NFL. And, of course, we get the old fossil defensive-minded coach in Ron Rivera. So people zig, we always zag. We always do the opposite of things. Brian Daboll with the Giants. He's not young, but he's a new head coach, and he's the guy that helped Josh Allen with the Bills, an offensive-minded guy, and they're doing really, really well. The Giants are 2-0. So we're the worst team in the NFC East. We are the worst team in the NFC East. This defense is so bad, but this was their best game, sadly. This was their best game, sadly to say. This probably was their best game. If the offense could have held up a little bit, they might have held the Eagles to like 16 points, something like that, maybe. If the offense would have gave them a chance, but the offense, it was 3-and-out every time. Every time it was 3-and-out. Or just a sack. A sack and 3-and-out or a fumble. It was awful. 153 passing yards. No need to really read the stats. We only have 1 turnover. That's crazy. We still got our butts kicked like this. 32 time of possession. We won a time of possession, but it doesn't matter at all. And they're not gonna fire Ron. And he might not even get fired at the end of this year, which is awful. It really is. But look, man, I'm not gonna say it's time for mock drafts yet and all that, which we usually do around this time of year. Sadly, but you might have to look at the quarterbacks or see what Sam Howell can do. Maybe if this continues by week 8, then you might have to see what the young man can do. You might have to see what Sam I am can do. Seriously. So all right, you guys, I'm done, man. I hope everybody has a good weekend, man. Hell to the Commanders, man. Peace.